Hey there, Tiny here. Sorry I haven't been posting lately. I was actually out of town, but I'm back. And today I bring you a squishy makeover because I know you love those. We're gonna start with this old milk carton cow. And it has some rips and tears, but not enough for squishy doctor. So I'm just gonna use some fabric glue to attach this part. I actually don't need that part, but it goes deeper than the top seam. So I wanted to make sure that everything sticks. Now for the next part, I have some fabric paint, some acrylic paint, and some glue. And I'm gonna mix that together to make my paint. I want it to be like a nice brown cookie color, so that's what I used. This is a traveling paintbrush. I actually did some arts and crafts with my sisters while I was out of the country, and somehow it ended up in my bag, which I thought was pretty neat, so I'm gonna use it. I love that it's so big, but here I'm going to use it, and it takes a lot of paint, so I have to be a little bit more careful with it. And I'm gonna give it one coat. I absolutely loved how this came out just because it covered so well. A lot of the time, with fabric paint, you don't know if it covers too well or if it hardens too much, but this was perfect. So once the first coat dried, look how even that paint is. I'm like shook. Okay, so once the first coat dries, I go ahead and take off the top. I actually used it while I was painting to hold on to it without getting paint everywhere, so that worked out real well. And then I'm going to get the little scissors to go in and even it all out. If you haven't figured out what this is yet, it's a gingerbread house. This video, I've had it for a couple of days now, and I just hadn't gotten to posting yet, and I'm so thankful for you guys. So I was like, no, I have to get to it. So I'm gonna have a video today, one on Friday, one on Sunday, and one on Christmas Day. So stick around. If you like A Nightmare Before Christmas and if you like squishy makeovers, then that's what the next videos are going to be. So this is the second coat. And I make sure that I get it all in there. It doesn't really matter too much the top. I end up painting it, but we're gonna cover that because it has like that white frosty look. But so to make the little grid lines, I'm using my protractor, and I just kind of outline them. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. This yellow marker has been great. Like, it's a permanent marker, but you can barely see it. I actually have to lift it up and move it around to see the reflection. Otherwise, you really can't see it. And then when I marked everything, I'm going to use this white fabric paint, which is a lot like puffy paint. And I'm gonna use this for the frosting. I did this to both sides pretty much, so I'm just going to outline that. Now I do want to add more frosting everywhere, and I end up doing this. The first couple of lines were really hard, but afterwards it goes by so easy. I feel like it's all about confidence, and once you're comfortable with it, it moves on so fast. In here I'm just dabbing it and building it up. The house front kind of looked a little flat, so I built the little peak on it with the paint. And then I'm going to do some of that snow from the roof is falling, or more the frosting where it attaches everything. I don't know which one it is, but it looks the same. So, and then like I said, I just build on it. And I continue to modify this. And even now that I filmed the video, I saw at the end a couple of parts and I'm like, maybe I should go back and do some snow in the bottom. But I'll talk to you guys a little bit about that later in the video. So I'm going to do this for all the seams where you're supposed to put the cookies together. And also it's the edges, so where the snow catches. You know what I mean? So I used this large popsicle stick and to draw out the door. I haven't done arts and crafts, the little ones anyway, because I did like a huge door while I was away, but little arts and crafts in like a month. So I'm freaking out here. I'm like using stuff to measure stuff out, and I eyeball stuff all the time. So this was a little bit new for me. But I do this to both sides pretty much, and there you can kind of see a little bit of the marker. And see here, I'm like, oh, the peppermint or like the gumdrop. And I just kind of start thinking of what I remember gingerbread houses looking like. So I'm going to use like the peppermint candy there, and everything that I sketched out with the permanent marker, I'm gonna use the white puffy paint to go over. And that was pretty easy, and I'm feeling pretty triumphant at this point. I messed this up a couple of times because I didn't time the drying correctly and I kept smudging it, but luckily it was very easy to clean up, so I'm really thankful for that. And like I said, the first couple of times it took me a little, like the lines were like, but once you gain the confidence, it goes by so, so quickly. Obviously without the drying, but it took about 20 minutes altogether to put together, not the dry time. The dry time, it took like forever, but so it was really easy and I really enjoyed it. I think I might have enjoyed it more than real gingerbread houses, if that's even possible. So I did this for both. And then I started doing the little candy dots that are supposed to be in the roof. And I started off with, red and green because I thought that they were pretty festive. And I liked it until it dried and I just didn't see it coming together. I feel like gingerbread houses need to be like colorful and vibrant, and that just wasn't happening for me. So here I'm like, oh, let me draw some little flowers. At first I was like, let me draw candy canes, but yeah, no, I'm not that good freehanding. So I was like, no, let me do a flower. And I end up killing this also, but so here I draw the little stems because I wanted to outline everything with that frosting look. And then for the flower, I drew a little heart with red. And I still, you see, it doesn't pop, like it's cute, but it needed more. Maybe I should have drawn the flowers taller. I don't know, but I end up putting some green leaves and then it's still too empty. So I put like little, what I started to think it was like a mistletoe, but wasn't. So it ended up being like another little bunch of berry flowers. I don't even know what it looks like, but so see, I'm like, no, it's not enough color, just the green and the red. So I decided to go back and add more color. And of course, I had to start the roof all over again. And I was like, okay, let me add some yellow and some orange. I thought about adding blue, but I feel like, blue is like a somber color, and I wanted them to really pop and make everything lighter. So I used yellow and orange, and it's just a little dot, to mimic the candy, which by the way, M&M minis are my life. They're so, so yummy. Okay, and once I'm happy with it, I still wasn't happy with the front, and this is where I told you guys that I kind of killed it. I went back and I added like a little dot, and I was like, whoops, that did not look like I wanted it. But once you do it, you gotta commit. You gotta commit. So I went in there with some of that orange too to add like a little flower bunch. So there's like an orange, red, yellow flower bunch in there. And then I added some of those same colors to the front of the house. And I felt like this was gonna spruce it up and just, make it come together more, which I feel like it did. I don't know. You let me know in the comments below if you think that it looked better at the end. And then I did green. And for the middle point, I really, really wanted to do red, but the whole time that I used red, I didn't feel like it popped enough. So I went with orange, and here I am dotting the orange. And I could have stopped here, but I didn't. I didn't. I added some of the colors on the top little mistletoes too, and there it is. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.